you all for being here, and we need you to keep putting the word out for us. Today's our first day of early voting for this wonderful presidential election. And as of 1 o'clock, for us, that's the halfway mark of the first day. We've had 20,911 voters. Can you imagine? When I checked the last numbers, the highest we had ever had was in 2018. And with the halfway mark on the first day, excuse me, the highest was 14,851. So you can see that amazing jump that we've had so far today. Everything's settling down at the sites. And just as you can see here, parking is an issue at a lot of the sites. So we're asking everyone to be prepared. Go on our site, download your individual sample ballot so that you can mark it. Then when you get to the poll site, you can take that into the booth with you. And that will help you remember, and you don't have to read the whole thing. You know who you're already going to vote for. And the other P we need is make sure you have your voter ID. We are still under voter ID. And for the third P that we're using today, pack your patience. Please pack your patience. And I really want to remind everybody to please be respectful of our senior citizens that are in line. We do have a rule, but we don't even need the rule. We want y'all to be respectful of the voters. And when you see someone who's having a little bit of trouble standing or walking, please take them to the front of the line. We've been doing that for years, and we can appreciate our voters because they don't hesitate. Now I want to talk about the mail. And our mail ballots, so far we have 12,230 already voted ballots in the office have been returned. We've mailed out about 45,000. And so we have back 12,000. The last day to apply for a mail ballot is coming up on Friday at 5 o'clock. The application needs to be in our office. That allows us time to get the ballot to the voter and for them to get it back to us. And then the last thing I'm going to say is right now at 1 o'clock, so that you can see the differences in the attendance to our sites. Brooke Hollow is leading. They've had 828 votes. And Macedonia Baptist Church has 107. So there's that spread. And you know how we've always talked to have people go to our website. And tonight, after the polls close, we will post how many people voted at each and every site. And we recommend that the voters look at that, and maybe they can drive a few minutes further to go to a site that's not a Brooke Hollow or an Encino or an Igo. So, okay, ready?
Yes, yeah, the mail ballots, is that part of the total of the 21,000? Those are separate?
Those are separate, yes, sir. Because right now, when I came out, we've had a 2.7% turnout. That includes the mail ballots that we have in-house.
That was great. Glad you bring that percent turnout. Can we just, for our reference, make sure we have the baseline correct? What is the number of registered voters in the county?
1,294,000 and some odd cents. Because we had to cut that as we put all of our equipment out in the site. So I think it's a little bit higher today, but that's the number we're going with now.
We have seen some long lines. There's a long one out here. We were up at the Northside Activity Center where people were actually leaving because they were facing 2.5 hour wait. Do you not have enough machines at some of these locations?
No, we have sufficient out there. We really do. This morning we did put extra machines out where we had them. We have been moving some poll workers around from site to site. But we just have all these eager beavers, people that want to vote on that very first day. And I will tell you that, you know, and we talk about it all the time, is the first day of early voting We refer to it as our election officials getting their sea legs, because they haven't done this for a while, and then all of a sudden we say, okay, now let's be there at 6:30 this morning. And in fact, when they got there at 6:30, some of these sites had people waiting to vote.
So what do you attribute the long lines to? If it's not, you don't have enough machines, is it the length of the ballot? Is it your workers still need to get their sea legs and need to be able to move along more efficiently? What's causing some of these long lines?
Well, I think what we're seeing is what we've been seeing all over the nation. We've been listening to the news, and Georgia had 300,000 people vote the very first day for early voting. And I think that's what we're seeing here in Texas, because this is all over the state of Texas, which is wonderful to see these people out. And we have beautiful weather. Am I sorry they have to stand in line? Yes. Am I excited that there's great crowds out there? You better believe it. This is what we prepped for. And I think someone used the term that this is our Super Bowl. And we're off to a great start.
Jack, have you seen any issues at polling sites so far today?
I'm sorry?
Have you run into any issues at any polling sites today?
We haven't had issues. Like I said, it took about an hour from the time everybody got there and they got into their rhythm. But we did have 2 locations. We had someone fall at Brooke Hollow, and we had to have EMS come out. And we had a voter, again, faint, just got woozy, and that was at Chevino, and they're fine. But again, everybody's excited to be here.
I have a question for you. In Arizona, election officials are preparing for people to try and impact voters' trust, say AI, video, and photo manipulation. Is Bexar County doing any preparation for that?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of it, hon.
So election officials are preparing for people to try and impact voter trust using AI, video, and photo manipulation. Is Bexar County doing any preparation for that?
We've obviously instructed all of our election officials, but we're watching it the same as you are. I mean, again, we're taking calls. We're taking calls with misinformation. We're taking calls of somebody telling us that this poll site's not open now, and we know they are. We're having, now I don't want to say issues, but the campaign workers are inundating the people who are standing in line, and we have a 100-foot campaign-free zone around every poll site from any outside exit. And it's taken a while for the campaigns to learn where that marker is. So we took a whole lot of calls this morning about campaign workers being in there talking to the voters in line when they were inside of the 100 feet. So again, all that will settle down once everybody learns this is the marker here and this is the marker. So, but it's a great day.
Yeah, what are some of the rules when it comes to campaigning? We saw some people out here in the street earlier. Are they allowed to do that? What's your take on that?
Well, again, public safety is number one. Absolutely. And we have heard that, where they're running up to the cars or doing something like that. But again, they just have to follow our 100-foot campaign-free zone. Sometimes, like, the lines are long. They are long. And some of those lines go outside our 100 feet. Well, they can talk to those voters, but then once they pass that demarcation line, they cannot campaign anymore. And we're also asking that they respect our voters who are voting curbside in their car, our more fragile or disabled voters who can't make it into the poll site. And we've spent the morning trying to make sure that the election officials understand that when the voter is voting in their car, that now becomes the poll site. And so it's 100 feet completely around that car. And so, the car may be outside the 100 feet just for parking spaces. But again, once someone's voting, once they're actively voting, that's your poll site.
Can you repeat how much people already voted right now?
At 1 o'clock, which was our halfway point, 20,911.
How many do you expect will vote by the end of the day?
maybe 38 to 40. I'm looking for, somewhere in that range.
And do you think this momentum is going to continue as early voting continues, or will stay usually high and then the rest kind of take off?
See, that's it. I mean, we always have our regular model. The first 2 days are really usually busy because we have that whole group of voters that they want to vote. They want to vote early. They want to vote the first day or the second day, because once they vote, the way the system is set up is that their name is posted as having voted. And so when they vote, their name's taken off the campaign rosters. So it stops the robocalls, it stops the emails. And so a lot of them figured that out a long time ago. So if they come the first day, who's to say?
Is it too early to call this a record turnout?
From my standpoint, it's a record turnout right now. We are looking for a record turnout.
New number right there. New number.
New number right there.
23.
23,370. 23,370. So
As of
since
right now.
at 1 o'clock in 45 minutes, we've gone up another 2,500. Yeah. So
23,370
yes,
as of now.
that's it. What? 245? No, 145.
So Jackie, as you were walking out, I noticed something different, that you had security detail with you, police, and all the years I've been covering elections, I have never really, at least I don't think I've seen you walk out with police security. I know that there have been emails, things like that, sent to election officials, threats. How are you doing, and how does it feel right now to have extra security detail?
That's a great question, and I hate to correct you, but I've been blessed to have these fellows with me for probably the last 4 years when I come out. But we have extra security. Obviously, everybody's been listening to the national narratives. We're paying really close attention to that. We've met with what we usually do as far as the security for who we contact, who knows where we are. We've heightened security here, obviously, because that national narrative makes you stand alert.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.